Good morning everyone, my name's Ashley Cooper and here at Brisbane International site at Tennyson is a shot of me playing in 1958. That's at the Frew Park Tennis Centre. So I hope everyone's enjoying the Frew Park YouTube site.
So here's Ashley, and he's pointing to a date, the date that the tennis centre was open. And towards the end of this particular YouTube, you're going to hear a very funny story in relation to that particular date. But in the first instance, there is only one recording currently of Ashley, because the mic that Ashley had around his neck, the battery in it was a bit faulty. And so therefore, we didn't get a series of proper recordings with sound. Got lots of recordings, most of them without sound. And so that means that we're going to have to find time again and sit down with Ashley and record the missing stories, because I can tell you they are very interesting stories and worth the effort of going back and having a further interview with Ashley. So I hope you enjoy this YouTube, and thanks again.
Morning ladies and gentlemen, Peter Racey here from Frew Park YouTube channel, and it's a great honour to be here this morning. And I've asked Chris Freeman, Vice President of Tennis Australia, to come along and introduce our star of the day, Ashley Cooper. Chris, over to you.
Well, thank you very much, Peter. It is also a great honour for me and a privilege to be here this morning to introduce Ashley Cooper, tennis player. Ashley is a past #1 champion. He has been in tennis for more than 60 years as a player and a champion, both through the professional days and the amateur days. And since then, he has been a crusader for the benefit and well-being of tennis throughout Australia. Ashley is one of those people who has made a magnificent difference to the game of tennis, and still to this day he continues on with his work to build tennis in Australia, and works on the Tennis Australia board.
Thank you very much for that, Chris. And before we just cut off this little section, we're actually at the Tennis Centre of Queensland, and these two guys here were really fundamental in achieving this absolutely fantastic asset that is really the jewel in the crown of tennis in Queensland, and almost, I reckon, second to none in tennis in Australia at the present stage. And just a personal thank you from me to you two guys for the great work. Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Peter Racey back for Frew Park YouTube channel. And Ashley, after that great introduction by Chris, who's rushed off to do his responsibilities for Tennis Queensland and Tennis Australia. Your original experiences of playing tennis in Queensland, and I have to tell people that that you're not actually a native born Queenslander, are you?
No, I'm not.
You're actually born in Melbourne.
Yeah.
But so when was it about 52 when you first played?
52. I remember this very well, because I took a flight from Melbourne to Brisbane. It was an old DC-3.
Oh, classic plane.
Yeah, and it stopped, I guess, about 6 or 7 times on the way up here, and eventually I left in the morning and got here at dusk. So, but the thing that first struck me about Brisbane was all the tin roofs and backyard tennis courts, all lit for tennis. Lit, all lit. Okay. It was night tennis, and that was the main structure of tennis in Brisbane, was to play night tennis on backyard courts.
And no doubt the trams.
And the trams, yes.
Because it's funny, because one of the connections between where tennis was and where tennis is now is that here at Tennyson was the site of one of the power stations that powered the trams that took all the people to tennis.
That's it,
at Milton.
At Milton.
Yeah, amazing. So, going back to the original story, so your first experience playing on that on the centre court, or did you enjoy the bounce on the outer courts first?
I got a bit of both. I was playing in the junior championships, so I think I was 15 or 16 at the time, and I wasn't playing in the open event. But it was quite interesting. The outside courts were a bit bumpy and actually faced east-west. The centre courts were very good lawn courts, and they faced, as it should, north-south. So you had a bit of a change of direction. But one of my first memories of Milton was...
So here's a close-up of the plaque that was the background of some of the YouTubes that you've seen this morning. And it's really symbolic, I think, of the effort that Ashley and Helen have put into the tennis world. It's quite an interesting little plaque, and the story behind it will make an interesting follow-up in the next YouTube. Thanks very much for watching.
So good morning again, ladies and gentlemen. Peter Rossi here from Frew YouTube channel, and we're very well practiced this morning because the battery went a bit flat. So we're doing it again. Now, 2nd of January 2009, a very funny story attaches to that particular date, and Ashley, let us fill us in on the funny story.
Yeah, well, that was the grand opening of the tennis centre here at Tennyson, and we were waiting on word from the then Premier Anna Bligh as to when she'd been available for the opening, and I'd organised a lot of tennis luminaries. John Newcomb, Pat Rafter, Frank Sedgman, Ken Rosewall, Mal Anderson, Yvonne Goolagong, Wendy Turnbull. They were all lined up to come and appear on the centre court, and I went home to my wife and said, well, we've finally decided on a date for the opening, and it's the 2nd of January. And she said, and what day is that? And I said, I think it's a Friday, when actually it was our 50th wedding anniversary.
Yes, it's wonder you were parboiled for forgetting.
She was very good about it.
Yes, well, it explains why such a good turn-up occurred on centre court for the official opening. It had absolutely nothing to do with the tennis centre, it had everything to do with 50 years of married bliss.
Yes.
And with that, we'll say good afternoon.